Hello, everyone, and welcome to Slapendipity, Hobos of Happy Slappy Town, episode 98. My name is Devon, but you can call me Gibi, and I'm here with Eric, who you can call Eric.
Hi.
Eric, I feel like over the last couple days, we've really learned the true meaning of getting a lot of freaking snow.
Well, gee willikers, Devon. I think you might be a little right. Back in my day, it used to be twice as much snow and hail, and the snowmen would beat you up if you didn't pay the troll toll.
It was the snowman trolls that were the worst, because they were cold and mean.
Yes, cold in both sense of the word.
Exactly. Exactly. It's like a pun.
It's like a pun, and you don't even want to know what they would do with their noses.
They stuck their noses in places that they didn't belong.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, no, that's great. Just explain the joke that is barely a joke. No, but
they can. The audience still has to use their imagination for what I'm talking about.
But we've gotten so much snow recently. Have you done anything with all that snow and cold weather?
I shoveled it a little bit.
Wow. Well, only a little bit.
I got out of bed. I was going to a movie at the movie theater.
Oh.
And so I get out of bed to leave to go to the movie theater and see that it is snowed half a foot outside my door. And I go, oh no, I need to leave right this second to reach the movie theater. And so I shoveled as quickly as I could, and I got in my car, and I drove at like 5 miles an hour, and I may have completely slid sideways at one point, but that's totally fine.
Did you really?
And then I reached, yes.
Oh my goodness.
And then I reached the movies, and it was all good, except for it wasn't all good.
Oh? Why would you lie?
It's a Trixie. This weekend, for the first time, I saw Lord of the Rings.
Yay! Let's go! You're catching up on your nerddom.
Yes. 25th anniversary of Fellowship was on Friday, and then they showed Two Towers Saturday and Return of the King Sunday. So I watched them for the first time. Ever. I've never seen Lord of the Rings.
Right. No, you did read them.
I did read them.
But you never saw the movie adaptations. What's that?
Yeah. Literally, until I was watching these movies, I didn't realize that when you say Trixie, you were quoting Gollum.
Oh.
Like when he goes, Trixie little hobbitses. He said that, and I did the like Leonardo DiCaprio point meme. I'm like, Eric says that. He was quoting this movie.
Well, now you've got that massive payoff. You were Leonardo DiCaprio.
I get it now. So on Saturday, for Two Towers, our friend George was able to come. But we drove separately, basically.
Sure. So
I'm getting out of my car, and I'm like, well, I get like free tickets and popcorn and soda, but like, do I want to bring my wallet in? Maybe I'm going to want to buy some pretzels if I get really hungry, because this movie's 4 hours long.
Yeah.
So I bring in my wallet, I go inside, I chit-chat with all the employees there, I sit down in my seat, it is still snowing, the roads are terrible, so George is going to be like 10 minutes late, and so I tell him like, okay, here's our seat, here's our theater, here's our seat, just like, you've seen the movie already, so if you miss the first couple of minutes, then just come in. I'm going to go into the auditorium and watch the movie. Mm-hmm. So I go and I sit down and the movie opens, and maybe about 3 minutes later, George comes in. Now, George is wearing his full Gandalf costume, Gandalf the Grey costume, beard and hat and everything. So like we're watching the movie, at one point he has to take off the beard because it's so like distracting. But the person next to us goes, hello, Gandalf, when George sits down.
LOL.
I thought that was quite funny. So when the movie's over, we're sitting there, we're talking about it. He was like, yeah, I walked inside, do you like still know like all the employees who work here? I said, oh, most of them. He's like, do you still know the person behind the counter? I said, yeah. He's like, yeah, I walked inside and I walked right up to the counter and I said, a wizard is never late, nor is he early. He arrives exactly when he means to. Which theater is Devon in?
Oh my goodness.
Because he was 5 minutes late to the movie.
Yes.
And I'm like, that's quite funny. So we talked about the movie. Go home. The roads are fine now. Wake up the next day with a little time to spare. I have to like shovel a little bit again. Go to the movie. Get in my car to go to the movie. I can't find my wallet.
Oh no.
Oh no.
What could... Did you leave it at the theater?
So I call the theater and I say, "Hello, Mr. Theater. Did I leave my wallet there?" And Mr. Theater, who is like my old boss, is like, "No, I don't. Like, no one turned in a wallet, but when you get here, you can look." So I go inside and I go into my old seat and I know how to take the seats apart. So I literally take the seats apart and I look in all the seats in the row and I look underneath them and anywhere a wallet would be. And I go, "That's bad."
Yeah.
And then I go to the manager and I'm like, "Hey, can I, like, you didn't close last night. Can I, like, check in the safe? Can I check, like, in this box? Can I go to the lost and found room?" So he looks in the safe. I don't look in the safe. But I check the lost and found room. And I'm like, "Well, what if, like, the ushers found it and they put it on the usher cart and then they, like, forgot to turn it in?" And he's like, "Okay, yeah, go to the janitor's closet." So I go in the janitor's closet and I can't find it anywhere. And so now I'm like, this is bad. This is real bad.
That's bad, Scoob.
This is bad, like, Scoob. Jeepers. Jeepers Creepers. That's quite the, zoinks, man.
Jinkies.
Jinkies. Let's split up, gang. Ruh-roh. Anyway, I go outside. I'm like, what if, when I got out of my car or something, like, my wallet falls out of my pocket, so it's where I parked yesterday. So I go to the spot where I parked yesterday, and there's nothing on the ground. However, they plowed. And so there is a metric ton of snow that has been plowed like 3 times on the side of the parking lot. And I stare at it and I go, at this point, given that I've searched literally everywhere else, the options are somebody saw it on the ground and stole it, or it's in that pile, and there's no other option.
No.
So I canceled my credit cards, ordered a new driver's license, figured that the $80 in cash in my wallet's gone forever, and now we wait for the snow to melt.
Is it? And you never found your wallet?
No, it's either in that snow.
Oh my god! I thought you were gonna be like, and I took a shovel from the theater and I started digging.
No. Literally frozen iceberg of ice.
Yeah. Dang, Scoob. That's one heckin' mystery.
Yep. So that was my. And then I watched Return of the King.
Nice.
It was also good.
What do you think? Okay, all the movies from Lord of the Rings are good.
Yeah, I think it would be wrong to give them. I think it would be wrong to give them anything less than 10 out of 10. I also think it'd be wrong to rate them individually, just because it's one story. You know, oh well, The Two Towers is a little weaker. It's like, no, you can just put them back to back to back, and it's a story. Like, it's one story. Just shut up.
You don't do that for Star Wars, though.
Because Star Wars are a serial that is meant to be viewed as each fragment. You know, each part is meant to be viewed as an episode of a larger thing. When Tolkien wrote Lord of the Rings, it was all meant to be one story that was kind of arbitrarily split into thirds, but really split into sixths. And then when they made the movies, they kind of just chopped it up a little bit. But yeah, no, I think that just going from one to the other is the correct way of doing it. But they're all 4 hours long, and so maybe watching one every day for a weekend, you can do it.
Yeah, I can hear the exhaustion in your voice from watching so many 4-hour movies.
Yeah.
Back to back to back.
Yeah. The day I watched Return of the King, I almost then went and watched Avatar with my brother, so that would have been the same day, but it wasn't.
Wow. That's crazy. Who's your favorite character and least favorite?
Oh god. I don't know if there's an actual way of answering that question.
Okay, who preferred and lesser preferred?
I think Gimli was a little too silly for me. He really only existed to tell jokes.
Wow. I can't believe you would hate the Jar Jar Binks equivalent.
It's a different kind of story. Right when I finished Two Towers, I texted my friend, and I was, like, giving, like, a little review. Like, this is what I thought about this, I like this, I didn't like this. And I said, I'm in love with Eowyn.
Mm.
So probably Eowyn.
Okay. And how do you feel about like Gollum?
He was cool. I like obviously incredibly good special effects, which everyone says everything that's ever needed to be said about Lord of the Rings has been said. And so me getting there 25 years late and going, did you guys know that Gollum's special effects are really, really good?
Whoa. No
It's like,
way.
whoa, no way.
Shut up. But
Do you
now
guys know
you
that
can.
like the story is like incredible? Oh my god, you shall not
No.
pass.
What?
Loved it.
Speak, friend, and enter? No way.
Yes, that still only counts as one for Frodo. You bow to no one. Oh my god, what great movies they were.
And now you
Great
can be
movies.
part of the people that, like, when you're watching Lord of the Rings with friends and Aragorn kicks that helmet, you can be like, okay, so the actor actually broke his toe during that scene, and that scream is real.
So obviously, like, that itself was like a meme, and then people saying that has become like its own meme. It's gone through two meme cycles. So Two Towers was the one I was able to watch with George. The other ones I watched on my own. And so when that scene came up, I'm like, it's part of the experience of watching the movie. So he kicks the helmet and George goes, did you know that in this scene, Viggo Mortensen actually broke his toe while kicking the helmet and the scream of pain is real? And I'm like, yes, that was the correct way of watching this movie, is having someone say that.
Oh my goodness. Apparently there's quite a bit of stuff that happened like that, and some of it I didn't know. Like, I think there's a thing where, like, he actually, like, there's like a river scene and he almost drowned in it, and like there was a thing with a horse or something. There were, apparently that movie was very hostile to Viggo Mortensen. And I don't blame him for never being in another movie after that, because it tried to kill him multiple times, it sounds.
It was the movies are so interesting because they shot all three of them back to back to back as one movie, right? So, they shot a bunch of the scenes in the Shire for the first movie, and then immediately shot a bunch of scenes in the Shire for the third movie, because like they have the set and they have all the extras.
Right.
So like it's just like movies are not made that way, and so it is really cool. For the 25th anniversary, before each showing, they had Peter Jackson, the director, record a little something to like say, like, hey guys, thanks for coming out to my movie all these years later.
Right.
I'm sure you've seen statements from directors and cast members and stuff like that in theaters.
Yeah.
This man was sitting in front of his laptop, filming with his laptop camera, in like a reclining chair. So it was probably just above his waist level, pointed up at him. And he was in an unbuttoned Hawaiian shirt.
LOL.
When his eyes were... He was fat, he looked drunk, and he rambled for 20 minutes before the first movie about the film. And he told these little, like, anecdotes, but he was still basically saying nothing, right? It would be like if you're talking to someone just like casually in a Discord call and they're like, oh yeah. And then like, the one scene where they enter the river lands, that river was like, it was a real river that we found. And I remember that, Tommy showed me the river and I said, that's a good river. So in the movie, in the scene when they're in the first film, when they're entering the river, that's really a river that we'd found. That's the one Tommy showed me. And so when they're crossing, in the first movie, in the scene when they enter the Riverlands and Frodo is crossing the river, he has, these horses chasing him. And the thing about horses, I first rode a horse when I was 7 years old. So like that for 20 minutes in front of a 4-hour movie.
Okay. Everyone's doing stretches and like, so this is what it's for, right? It's to give people a buffer.
This
is the intermission they meant to have midway through, but they front loaded it.
Yeah, I was like a bunch of nervous laughter for Fellowship when that was happening. By the time of Return of the King, when I was in a sold out theater, he pops up on screen. People are like laughing and not heckling him, but he'll repeat himself for the third time and people start cheering, because like the same group of people has now for the last 3 days viewed one of these drunken rambles before these movies, and so now like as a group we're all like making fun of him. We're bonded over, like, here we go, the next 20-minute long, ramble.
Oh, Peter.
Oh, Peter. So that was quite an interesting experience.
Well, that's cool. You have such magical adventures at movie theaters.
The only thing I do is go to movie theaters. Yeah.
I mean, fair enough, I guess. Fair enough.
Fair enough. That could be a Lord of the Rings character. Fair enough.
Fair enough. Wow, that's great. Beautiful, even. Great. So I want to circle back though to because I feel like we glossed over it. I just want to talk a little bit more about your car going sideways.
Oh, sure.
What happened there? Were you
okay? So
yeah,
driving very slow.
Right.
I slid out once, and then there was another time where I was at a stoplight, and so it turns green, and so I go forward. And I go forward a little bit, and then the car stops.
Oh.
And then I hit the gas, and I'm spinning out. I'm not going anywhere.
Right.
So I hit the brake, and then hit the gas, and I go forward like a foot, and then it stops again. So I'm not stuck. It's just that I need momentum to get going.
Yeah, or you lost friction.
Yeah, a guy behind me passes me on the left and honks at me, and I'm like, dude. There's cars coming in the other direction in this snow. The fact that you just passed me right then is insane.
Yeah.
Like, if I had 4-wheel drive, I wouldn't have done that. That's crazy.
Some people are too much in a hurry.
Yeah.
That's
wild. I was taking a very slight turn. Again, not going very fast. So going straight, right? Turn the wheel to turn slightly left to make the slightly left, curve in the road.
Mm-hmm.
And my car just spins 90 degrees. Dang. So I'm sliding forward in the correct direction, but I'm facing completely 90 degrees in the road.
Oh my goodness.
And so I just very calmly tapped the brake, stopped sliding, and as the sliding was slowing down, I was able to turn the wheel back the correct direction. I went totally fine. Didn't even leave between the yellow and white lines. Stayed completely in my lane. Nothing happened. I was just going sideways for a second.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, pumping your brakes is so vital. I remember one time years ago, I had to go to work during a snowstorm, and they were like, we're not, giving you all the day off, and you're going to come in and you're going to like it. I was like, okay. And I just fishtailed on my way over, and I just pumped the brake, and I was just like, this job is dumb. I'm not making me fishtail on my way to get there. I've only gone less than a mile or so. Get out of here.
Was this the theater job or a different job?
Different job.
Okay. I was gonna say.
Yeah, no, they were a bit more chill. I was like, I am not dying for anyone's food or movie or whatever. Like, get out of here.
Yeah.
So, but what I'm hearing though, and we all live our lives differently, is that we were granted a boon of 6 inches or so of snow, and you spent all your time inside. Which
yes.
Okay. Well,
I've not build snowmen or sled or anything.
That's fair. I probably would go too fast if I went sledding, and I would fall off somehow. But what I did do? There's I went to a nearby body of water, and it was frozen over completely. Well, more or less. In like, sometimes by the edges of the shore, it gets a little less frozen. And I just went walking, and I saw evidence of people ice fishing and deer paths that were like crossing over the frozen body of water, which got me thinking, okay, if you're a deer and you see like a lake or a big pond or whatever. And in the summertime, you're like, this is the water hole. I get the water here. It's a good time. But I can't cross it because it's too deep. And if I see any predators like those big, loud metal machines, I can't run away into here because there's nowhere for me to go. They'll chase me down. So when it comes to winter and it freezes over, do you think they're like, what happened to the water hole? And they just like test their hooves on it and they're like, my gosh, I can no longer get water, but I can flee from all of the metal machines. Or do you think it's not that deep?
I mean, it depends how deep the water is to know how useful the ice is. Har, har, har.
Har, har, har.
But like, yeah, no, I guess if a deer conceptualizes the thing over there as where they go to get water, and now they're like, I can no longer get water, but I can walk, that is strange.
Right? That's what I'm saying. Like, what are they like new shortcut unlocked temporarily?
Yeah.
Or are they like, man, this isn't worth a shortcut. I wish I had my water. All that's around us is cold stuff. And it kind of does the job of water, but not what I want. It makes you think.
Mm-hmm. I think sometimes.
Yeah, me too. But only sometimes. If you do too much, it makes you yawn. And that's just no good.
One of the other things I did this week was I saw a movie.
Okay.
Did you have more to say about thinking?
Well, just supposedly there's a new theory going around that yawning is the brain's way of cooling off. That you're like exhaling all of the hot air.
I've heard that.
Oh. Well, fine. Tell me about your movie. I guess my stuff is boring.
So, you can go to a movie theater, and you can see right now a movie called 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple.
Part 2.
It's just part 2 is The Bone Temple. You and me watched all 28 later movies this past October.
We did. 28
days
28
later.
Weeks, and then 28 years later.
Yep, I saw Days and Weeks probably 20 years ago on DVD, and I saw 28 years later in theaters last summer. So now 28 years later, part 2, The Bone Temple came out. And yeah, I liked the first 3 enough. I think they're interesting.
Sure.
This is the best one. This is incredible. This is a 5 out of 5. This might end up being one of the best movies of the year. And I think everybody needs to see it. And it is not doing well in the box office.
Oh. Okay, well, maybe I should see it. You told me I should watch it, and I was like, maybe I'll see it next year when we watch it, when it comes out onto streaming or whatever. And you were just like, grumpy face okay, or whatever. You didn't say anything about like, well, I think it may be the best movie of the year. Which
My
is crazy,
exact message was,
January.
I said, Bone Temple is so good, I'd be willing to see it again in theaters. I'll take you and our friend Christian, who we watched all the horror movies with. And Christian was like, okay. And you said, no, the only proper way of viewing it is at your house a year after it comes out. I kind of thought you were joking and that like we would revisit the conversation and we'd watch it at some point because it is quite good.
I mean, I was serious, but now I'll go back a little. Maybe I'll watch it in theaters, I guess. But you have some interesting movie takes, so I don't know.
It has like a 95% on Rotten Tomatoes, both critics and audiences, and it's the highest reviewed in the franchise. This is not just a Gibi bad take. This is quite a good movie.
Interesting. Now, I did like 28 Days Later. What do you have to say to me as that one being my... Gosh, what was 28 Weeks Later about?
Weeks was when Jeremy Renner is like in the American military, and these kids are like we have to kill everyone.
Stupid.
Yes, that one was stupid.
Having been away from it for a few months and like clearly remembering most of the plot points in 28 Days Later, and nothing in 28 weeks? That's so bad. I even remember some things from 28 years later. Gosh, Weeks was... Man, pour one out for Weeks.
Okay, I would say if it was just a random summer blockbuster movie, sure. But now that there's now that there's 4 of these movies, it is the odd one out. It is just a silly little thing going on.
Yeah. Okay, so since my favorite currently of the 3 is Days, what do you have to say to me?
This one's the best one.
What is it?
Bone Temple.
Similar? Oh, okay.
It's not like... None of the 4 are like each other in any way whatsoever.
Does part 2 follow the same cast from part 1 of 28 years later? Okay.
Yes, it's the little boy Spike, and it's Ray Fiennes as the doctor guy in the Bone Temple.
So it's nothing like the previous movie, but it does use the same character and settings.
Yes. Because the previous movie, it's like, oh, your little Spikey and his dad, like Aaron Taylor Johnson or whatever, is like, we're going to go on a hunt. And he's like, you're cheating on Mom, and Mom's sick. I got to take her to the doctor. And then he's like, Mr. Doctor, can you heal her? And Doctor's like, bro, this isn't like, I'm going to give her an herb and she's going to be okay. Bro has cancer, so no. And then they're fighting zombies. And then he's like, I need to learn to accept death in this world full of death. My name is Spike and I'm 12 years old or whatever. This, totally different.
Okay.
Very, very good. Incredibly good. Okay. I got out of the movie and I went to like say goodbye to my, the people I know who work there. And one of them was like, oh, I didn't like the last one. How was this one? And I went, oh, this one's really good. It's actually better. And she's like, better, like, should I watch it? And I went, no. Like, it's not like if you didn't like the other one, this one's better because in the way that Captain America 2 is better than Captain America 1, right? It's like, if you didn't like what the last one was setting up, or you didn't like the characters, or you don't like that world, or you don't like rated R zombie movies that are very, like, violent but also cerebral, then you will not like this one, period.
Gotcha.
This is probably the most rated R movie I've ever seen.
Oh.
Yes.
Interesting.
So there's that as well.
That could mean so many things, though. It could go from anywhere from they say fuck 4 times to there's, I don't know, an abortion scene.
What?
I don't know. What is that? Rated R, right? I don't know.
So, like, I saw Terrifier 3, which is, like, not rated, like NC-17. Sure. This is the most graphic movie I've ever seen, period.
Even more graphic than Dwayne The Rock Johnson's Honey Pooh Bear thing?
Oh, the Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey?
Yeah.
Yes, nothing, not even comparable.
Wow. Interesting. It kind of feels, from what you're saying, it's like, it's more like 28 Days Later, because 28 Days Later kind of modernized zombie tropes and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like maybe, I haven't watched it, but like maybe it's doing a little bit of that, or like setting some bars in some way.
The way that 28 Days Later was like, it's a zombie apocalypse, but really the villain of the movie is Christopher Eccleston as like the army guy. This one is very much like, it's set in a zombie apocalypse, but the villain of the movie is Jimmy.
Jimmy's the dad?
No, Jimmy's remember the beginning of 28 Years Later, there's the kid watching Teletubbies, and then all of his sisters die.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And
with
then
the Power Range scene at the end.
Yeah, the Teletubbies doing flips and killing the zombies at the end.
Right,
with the blonde wig.
Oh my gosh.
It picks up right there. It picks up 5 minutes later.
Oh, interesting. Huh. Well, I guess maybe I should go watch it. Should I watch it now?
No, you should watch it with me in the next couple days, and we'll invite Christian.
So should we watch it now?
I think that everyone listening to this should go out and support their local 28 Years Later The Bone Temple, because it's flopping, but it's so good.
Okay. All right. Well, and before they do that, if they have anything they'd like to say or send to us, they should mail us at slapendipity@gmail.com. Phonetically spelt. Good luck to you.
Mm-hmm. And maybe they should do that in the next couple days.
Well, the dragon at the post office keeps hoarding our mail, and she's found a way to get her electronic grubby little claws on it digitally, so yeah, it's been kind of rough, but we're making do, because do is kind of like snow.
Scooby-Dooby-Doo.
Where are you?
Jinkies Jeepers.
Some work for you now.
What's new, Scooby-Doo?
We can't sing anymore.
They're
gonna copyright us.
My mysteries. I'm such a good singer.
You're such a good singer.
Did you see the Hobbit movies?
Yeah.
What do you think about all the songs?
There were songs?
Yeah.
I remember the Mines of Moria song because who got 7 deep voices chanting at you is what everyone needs in life.
The Misty Mountain song?
Misty Mountains, thank you.
Yeah.
That's the only song I remember. So
in the beginning, when Bilbo's get these men out of my house, and they're tossing his dishes around, they're like ba 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 ba, and that's what Bilbo Baggins hates, and they're just doing this little musical number, which is all this stuff is from the books, which is good. So I'm kind of I'm torn. So I did see the Hobbits as they were coming out, and I also I've read the books.
Yeah.
So I'm I really don't like the Hobbit movies because the tone is wrong. They're just a bad adaptation. Regardless of their quality as movies, they're bad adaptations. Right. But when they do adapt something like the songs, I guess I have to be well, the song makes the movie worse because it tonally clashes with the seriousness of the film. But the seriousness of the film is what's wrong with it. So I guess I should just be happy that there's a big budget version of these songs from the book that I can go and watch if I want to listen to them.
Yeah.
That's my takeaway.
I think that's appropriate. Yeah, I'd agree overall. Because also, if, I don't think about the Hobbit movies that much, if at all, because why would I?
Mm-hmm.
But they did give Misty Mountains, and I think that's worth it. So... And they gave us a Smaug, I guess. Kind of.
Yeah, one of the things about the Smaug is that they originally, when they modeled him, they made him correct, which is to say that they gave him 4 legs and wings, and then someone was like, that looks wrong. What if we took away his front legs? Which I think is stupid.
That guy should be fired.
Yes. It's so it's Spyro the Dragon, he's got 4 legs and wings, whereas other dragons are more like bats, where they have back legs, and then their front arms are also their wings.
Right.
So that's what they went with the movie, even though it's wrong according to the book. And I'm you should have just done it because it's Tolkien, and you should have just done it correctly.
It's a little weird when it's you have the source material in front of you, just do the source material. And someone's like, but what if we didn't? And everyone, or at least everyone higher up, is just yeah, what if we did ignore the author of this best-selling novel? Yeah! Crazy. I could never. If I was adapting a film, let's say in 10, 15 years, and it had, a magic system or something, I wouldn't be actually, it's a sci-fi. That's stupid.
So, you've now seen Star Wars, and I've now seen Lord of the Rings.
We are complete.
Yeah, I'm thinking, is there a third thing that,
not really.
neither of us have seen?
In terms of movies, I don't think so. Like, I haven't seen any of Doctor Who, but I don't care to. Um, it's super long. I would really, let's be real, I would only watch the David Tennant versions, and then I would say that, and people would be like, well, that's dumb and wrong. Obviously, you have to watch insert favorite Doctor here. And I'd be like, I'm just not committing multiple years to Doctor Who.
So I would say that to watch it, you really only need to start with the relaunch in 2005. So there's a season...
That's 21 years. That's too much.
Yeah, there's multiple seasons. There's many years that didn't have any episodes, and a Doctor Who season is like 10 episodes. But so 2005, the ninth Doctor was Christopher Eccleston from 28 Days Later. And then he was only there for one season, so he was only there for like 10 episodes. And then it's David Tennant for a couple of years. And then if you want to stop, I'd say, you know what? You experienced the peak. After this, there's quite a lot of good stuff. And culturally, I think it's important, or I think it's good to like watch the other Doctors. But it certainly doesn't ever get better than this.
I don't know, man. I watched like the first season or two of Buffy, and it was fine. I watched the first few seasons of what's that one show everyone likes with Sam and Dean? Supernatural,
which I've never seen.
And I watched a few seasons, and I heard a complaint, and this is pretty universal. It's technically a spoiler, but like I'd be surprised. It's kind of like Darth Vader being Luke's dad. Spoilers. Sam and Dean eventually start just dying and then being resurrected because the show realized there's no stakes without death. But then the show is these two characters, so they can't actually die forever. So the first instance I saw that, I was like, oh, this is actually kind of weak in how they're explaining it. And if this is the problem of the show, I'm just going to stop here. Because the first time they did it, they didn't have a way of explaining it to me that I felt satisfactory.
Interesting. I think, I'm trying to think of like a movie, right? Like a
Star
movie
Trek?
franchise. I've seen most of the original series of Star Trek, and I've seen all the movies.
I feel like Star Wars and Lord of the Rings are the big two things of nerddom for movies. Like, and there's like perhaps unofficial thirds, or maybe we're just uncultured, or we have an obvious blind spot and people are furiously typing away of, I can't believe you didn't bring up Battlestar Galactica.
But again, movies, it's like, okay, but the Christopher Nolan Batman trilogy is up there.
Sure, but that's not like the same vein. Or is it?
Yeah.
Nah. Yeah, I don't know.
If you guys can think of like a movie, trilogy, or series that is high artistic merit, culturally important, that neither me or Eric have seen, obviously you don't know that, but you can suggest some in emails. Also, tell me your favorite Doctor.
And tell me your favorite Lord of the Rings character. And why it's that little magical creature. Or the treants.
Oh, the Ents. I did like the tree. They're cool. Treebeard. He's good. Bye, everyone.
Bye!